Welcome back to Parley, the show where you folks support the other stuff I make by paying me monthly to talk about the topic of your choice. And this month, Liliana has chosen to make me date the planetary bosses in Warframe. Yes, that's okay. Liliana says, July, the hottest month of the year, the worst month of the year. Both of those are true. Don't look them up. I could not possibly agree more. This is going to be a good parlay. Cool. So getting down to business, I want you to look at least 5 of the planetary bosses in Warframe and give me your thoughts on how they would perform as romantic partners, whether that be their performance in bed, their domestic abilities, their emotional connection to you, their budget for fancy dates to take you on, etc., etc. Any number of things like that for these 5 planetary bosses in Warframe. When I say planetary bosses, I mean bosses you can go and fight at a location whenever you want. So like Vahek, Lephantis, the Raptors, Orb Mothers, they're all on-demand fights, not like the Eidolon, Stalker. They're locked behind certain time or day requirements or other things. Yes, so you can go ring them up and take them on a date. Excellent. We'll be doing this from memory because it's going to be funnier that way. Can I remember 5? You gave me a lot right there, so I guess so. Yes, 5 of them. Okay, let's make some criteria, shall we? What will the criteria be? Oh, well, of course, we'll use the ones you listed. So, beginning with performance in bed, domestic abilities, emotional connection to you, budget, which, like, if you're thinking, it's not very romantic to talk about budget necessarily. Not my cup of tea. However, financial independence and stability, that is romantically appealing. That's good. Gets away from unromantic money. Get that out of there as much as possible. Excellent. Love it. So, yeah, I mean, if you are in a good financial situation, it's really just more about having your life set up, you know, if we're going to commit to a relationship, maybe settle down a little bit. Excellent. Seems appropriate. Let's I'll see if I think of any other categories as we go. Vahek. Well, of course we're starting with Vahek. Are you ready for a sacrifice? Yeah, I don't know. That's a type of relationship commitment. Let's get an overview of Vahek first. I don't know, man. Like my 2 cents about relationships is it ain't about sacrifice. You need to be able to compromise and communicate, but I think that people should search out partners that are really a dream come true, not like you can live with that, you know? I believe that a lot of people confuse these ideas. They think of compromise or settling as just being realistic. And I think there's a big difference between being reasonable and charitable with the person that you care about and being with someone who has core conflicts with you that you just kind of abide. Like, you should seek out a partner that does not have those problems with you. They're not problems, just like conflicts between the two of you. If I feel inherently cynical about the nature of reality moving forward, then I probably ought to not attempt to be with a partner who is like fundamentally sunny about that. I think that is important. You might disagree. That's fine. This is just my approach. So Vahek, the ready for a sacrifice. I'm really not though. Like I'm not. No, not really into it. I'm greedy. If I had a sin, it would be greed. This is going to be a lot about like this is just like dating advice for Sandy, the parlay, which is fine, I guess. If you didn't want that, you wouldn't ask this. So go figure. I don't know, Vahek. It's intense, exciting. A couple of dates, we could give it a shot. You might communicate to such a person. That sounds like fun. I can't promise you I'm going to want to do this for the long term. We could, do some stuff together, not just talking about physically, okay? The type of partner Vahek is, I don't know. Sexually, I'm not so sure. The robot body, it goes without saying that would be a bespoke sexual experience. I think that that's unnecessary to clarify, so I won't. I can do that because it's my show. but it's your money, so I will go into more detail. That, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he big. As long as your partner respects you. The are you ready for a sacrifice thing? Oh, well, it indicates give and take, and so maybe that'll be good. Sexually, that comment seems good, I guess. Not like a red flag if we're being the most generous we've ever been and we're paid $9 a month, which we were. And so there you go. I don't know. Yeah, like obviously, if somebody actually said that to you, run away as fast as you can. But in the context of this abstraction where Vahek is even dateable, oh, I don't know. It could be fine. Some give and take sexually is very important. Personally, I would rather have a partner that just genuinely gets off on the other person enjoying themselves rather than like feeling like they're obligated to get the other person to enjoy themselves. You see what I'm trying to say with the whole sacrifice thing? Anyway, I don't know. Domestic abilities. Goes without saying that Vahek scores very well in this category. It so much goes without saying that I would not belittle you with too much detail, but I mean, the terra frame, just excellent. The ability to be a floating head that flies around the house, get your mind out of the gutter. However, yeah, very useful. I like the idea of the speaker thing, as long as it's done in moderation, could be very exciting. A very multimedia experience, like having an embodiment of Amazon Alexa, except without being owned by Amazon, as your waifu. Anyway, emotional connection to you. Very emotionally available, extremely angry and frothy all the time. If we assume that this relationship isn't just instantly garbage, then I guess, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be like hard to figure out when he's unhappy, which is good. I hate that so much. I will work to make things good between us. You need to tell me when something is wrong. I have earned that. I will listen to you and make an effort. So if you're upset about something, I know it's not for me to guess. That's extremely immature. Just tell me. If I can't figure it out and you want me to like just figure it out on my own, that's assuming that I'm acting in bad faith. Don't be immature. Just tell me what's wrong and we'll try to figure it out. Of course, you earn that by being a partner who tries to figure it out, who proves, demonstrates that like I am attempting to understand you. I just don't succeed 100% of the time. And like, you shouldn't expect someone to do that. It's a very toxic thing to do. Don't do that. This has just become dating advice for all of you. Moving on to the final category, which is budget, financial stability, fancy dates. Again, Vahek scores extremely well. Shall we give point-based scores for each of them? Pull up the document. Okay. Vahek is going to be given a score out of 5 in each category. And so performance in bed, it'll be a 4. Again, charitable, good. Robot body, good. Anyway, domestic abilities, 5, easy 5. Emotional connection, I'm going to say 4, maybe a little too angry, but at least you'll know what's up. And budget, we're also going to say 4, 5, 4, 5. Giving Vahek an excellent total showing of 18. Moving on to the next character. And who will it be? Sargus Ruck. I think we should do Sargus Ruck. Should we describe who these people are? I didn't really describe Vahek at all. For the few people listening to this who have not played Warframe, you're not going to get a retroactive explanation of Vahek, but I will try to describe Sargus Ruck for comedy also. We're dating a man with a flamethrower prosthetic and a furnace in his stomach. So right away, we can give Sargus Ruck a 5 for domestic capabilities. He literally is a kitchen and a culinary torch. You can also use him as the heating system for your house. So financials, also pretty good. Being able to upkeep, having a flamethrower prosthetic, you probably go through a fair bit of kerosene, but anyway, I mean, apparently it's fine, right? You can go fight him whenever you want. He's always ready to flame up, so it's probably good. We're gonna say 4 for domestic, for budget, excuse me. However, sexual capabilities and emotional connection to you. Having a flamethrower prosthetic, mm, mm, mm. Like, if it's detachable and you can swap it out with something else, we're just gonna leave it at that. Then of course that's good, probably actually positive. But unlike Vehek, I'm gonna say I'm not sure I would assume that. It kind of seems like Sargus Ruck has these prosthetics a bit. They can't swap out the furnace mouth in their stomach. I don't really want to sleep with that. So that's going to be a 2. And remember, this is out of 5. So 2 out of 5 is just below average. It's not some kind of garbage. 0 out of 5 would be like, you die if you do that, you know? 2 out of 5 is like warm, good for snuggles, but has only one arm and you would get burned while trying to have intercourse. So not good sexual score. And emotional connection. I don't know. Like, not the most expressive character. Like, not emotionally open, in my opinion. Um, Kind of the bad version of Vehek. Like, angry, but not in an expressive way. Like, not in a way where you know what's going on. What I'm trying to say is the fight against Sargus Ruck is not very readable, okay? Shining a bright light from your vulnerability point isn't emotional availability, that's just gaslighting. So we're going to give that a 2, and that gives Sargus Ruck a much more modest total showing. That's a total of 13. We're going to say 13 total, and Vehek got 18 total, because we have to rank them, of course, obviously. And we're moving on to number 3. Who shall it be? We can't do all Grenier, so we're going to have to do the Sergeant? That's the extremely trivial to kill one, right? That, like, stealths, but not really, because you can kill them so fast. Okay. That is the Sergeant, right? Am I being silly? Anyway, you know who I'm talking about if you played Warframe, and if you haven't. So this boss, unlike the other bosses, really has no mechanics. They're basically just like a glorified basic unit. You can speedrun this boss with really no experience in like 30 seconds. The entire mission, not just the boss fight. Okay, like 45 seconds with very little practice, okay? First of all, sexual prowess. I mean, there's something to be said for an exhilarating roller coaster of an experience. Not an everyday thing, but 3. I think I will all agree. Sure you do. Domestic abilities, not good. Like, very bad. This is basically just utility, and the Sergeant is like literally none. Like, actually, well, but stealth. And stealth is kinky. I mean, okay, I'll get a 1 for the stealth. Can this unit actually stealth? Anyway, a 1. Bad. Still bad, but again, like, if we're going for I would say a rude term here, which, I'm not really into it, but, we're going for a speed run, let's just say it that way. I don't know, that's not a non-benefit. It'll at least be a little exciting. Emotional connection. Well, I personally have a very emotional connection to the Sergeant, because killing the Sergeant really, really quickly to farm a lot of mag parts is how I developed Driftframe, which is a minigame that I created, a homebrew minigame mode in Warframe that is kind of like a lower power version of speedrunning capture missions. It's really not speedrunning as per se. It's meant to convert capture missions into drag racing, kind of, with some different rules and bans and stuff. And that video, the Driftframe tier list that did the best, is at the moment my most viewed ever video. And while I might not have a business model that is focused on views, my goal is not to get a lot of views on videos. You could argue I actually didn't benefit that much from that video in a way, because I didn't get a lot of long-term audience members from that video. It's not entirely like the other things I'm going to go on to make, right? There's still something to be said for it, and it was very encouraging to feel like, oh, I can make something that will resonate with a lot of people. I just have to make it a thing that I want to continue making, right? And so I'm forced, I have no choice, forced to give Sergeant a Freudian slip 5 for emotional availability. But it's how the Sergeant is a mirror that evokes my emotions. bringing out the best in me. We can agree that this is a good quality in a person, so I believe the sergeant should receive credit. And finally, budget, which is obviously 0 because this boss has literally no mechanics, giving the sergeant an unfortunate total score of 9, our lowest yet. Moving on to the raptors. Oh, you mentioned the raptors. Is it multiple of them? So the raptors are a boss. They're these quadrupedal, like, dog, spider, tiger things? Not sure how to describe. Oh no, the raptors are the flying guys. I'm talking about hyena pack. We're doing hyena pack. Hyena pack, yes. Mecha hyena things. You fight like an assortment of them. There's a couple different ones and they have different abilities. I don't know those abilities. This one is you date all of them, obviously. So we're gonna say hyena pack, and then in parentheses, all of them. And so for sexual times, we're just gonna say that it's all of them. But so if we're just rating, like, if that's a good experience, it can be very good. But 4 is kind of too many. Isn't it 4 different ones? That's kind of too many. But that's not entirely fair because that's not judging them, right? It really does matter who they are. They could rise to the occasion. There's some voyeurism, some exhibitionism there. Like, probably not all 5 of you are going to be copulating nonstop. There's going to be, like, some people chilling. Maybe getting drinks. Could be a BDSM affair. And then 5 suddenly sounds like a significantly better number. A winky face. Yeah, but what are they into? The hyenas. This is like a group of close friends that are like on the same page about this. I would say if this is a kind of a short-term thing, but it's for romantic partners though. That's like, it might not last. Well, we have to assume it's the good version of them. We can't assume the relationship is bad. We have to assume it's good, and then what would be the benefits of these things? Otherwise, it's just like, obviously they're all bad. So I don't know, maybe good. I have had the experience of dating this many people at the same time before, and when that was good, it was fun in a lot of unexpected, interesting ways. It's very impractical, but if people can be on the same page, that again, I feel like for a very complicated, I could do a whole parlay on that, cascade of social reasons, it's quite unlikely that you will have a truly healthy relationship with this many people at once. I think if people think they do, I don't know, but it's complicated. I'm sure it's possible, and yeah, that could be good. I'm gonna say 4. I think for a moment about like why, what are the good things, basically. I don't remember the individual traits of the hyenas. Getting to know different things about people is really interesting. And if your partners are not concerned about not getting your time and emotional availability, if they can be such that they would feel secure with you, with other people, or perhaps they're also with those other people, you can get into a situation where the contrast really brings out the greatness in each person. You really benefit from each person's strengths. You really get to see what makes people different. You get to learn more about yourself because you find the probably not very many things that you like that are the same. Either that, or you'll find out very quick that you probably shouldn't date multiple people because you actually don't like them for different reasons, and there's one that you like the most. Either way, a very valuable emotional experience. Again, maybe for the sexual thing, yeah, we'll say 4. Domestic abilities, we'll get back to that. The emotional connection thing, I would say, again, like for the time that you have, provided the people are emotional, I believe you will grow a lot. So I'm going to say 5 for that category. Now, domestic abilities, but there are 4 of them. 5. And likewise, budget, there are 4 of them. 0. Giving them a final total score of 14. Curiously, only a little higher than Sargus Ruck, but actually that kind of checks out. Vayhek is kicking ass. Anyway, who else? So we've done 2 Grineer units, 2 Corpus units. We need to decide on an infested unit. I don't really want to do Lephantis. We could do Vor, which is like corrupted Vor, obviously. Obviously. Any other bosses that we got one more, you know, we gotta pick wisely here. This is like we're setting up a cast for one of those dating shows, like Love Island or something. I don't know. I hate these shows, so I don't really know. That's just the only name that popped into my head. Is that even a real show? Did I just make that up? I'm sure I'm sure that is a show. Anyway, all right, hold on. Love Island. Oh my goodness, it's totally a thing. Okay, anyway, I mean, I guess expected, but yeah, anyway, those, you know, there's is The Bachelor this kind of, I don't actually know what that show is. It's one of those things that people say the name so much, you never actually find out what, well, okay, probably a lot of people do find out what it is, but I didn't. Anyhow, the 5th one, who's it gonna be? The Orb Mothers are kind of different. That's interesting. Who would, okay, for the 5th one, I get to do something a little bit different. Rather than just like, obviously we have to rate, you know, Vayhek, Sargus Ruck, Sergeant, and then Hyena Pack is like a mixing it up, right? For this one, I get to pick like what planetary boss do I want to date, or like do I think it would be interesting? Let's say it that way, because it is interesting dating new people. Hmm. Yeah, not Vor. I don't think I need to explain that. Lephantis is interesting contrast because it's like Hyena Pack is 4 individuals. Lephantis is a 3-headed abomination, infested mutant abomination. Also really big, which is not a plus for me. I'm not really into that. Some people are. Could be a positive. Not really into the 3 heads thing either. I'm sure some people are. Trying to think of if there are any other planetary bosses though that really stick out to me that I really want to do, like that I'd maybe have fun doing. I kind of want to do Jackal. I feel like that's not that interesting. Jackal is a large quadrupedal robot. Think like a giraffe without the long neck. So very long legs, a big quadrupod, kind of like a shipping crane, but that attacks you. That is that a good description of Jackal? Raptor is an interesting one too. Since I can't think of any others, I guess I'll just have to pick someone. I'm surprised. I'm sure there are plenty of others that I am just completely failing to think of. How about Alad V? Corrupted Alad V. Alad V or corrupted Alad V? Alad V. And you've got the pet. Ooh. Okay, hitting that kink appeal. We're doing Alad V. Okay, a corpus scientist, and he comes with his own Zanuka, which is kind of a modified hyena-esque thing that's like a Warframe that has been turned into a BDSM part. I mean, modified to be a combat companion. Okay, so 5 for sexual stuff. Right. Alad V, well, okay, first of all, this is like actually a human, I guess. He's maybe spoiler? Skip 15 seconds if you want to avoid a Warframe spoiler. Now, he's like maybe Orican, so that's interesting. A long-lived partner, I want that. That's desirable. He's selfish. I'm very selfish. So that's good. He's smart. That this appeals to me. Okay. All right, all right. This is looking all right. So we're gonna say 5 because of the Zanuka thing. I'm totally into that. Just gonna move on. Domestic abilities. Well, yeah, I mean scientists, you know? 5. Totally 5. Come on. Ability to innovate, improve the lived environment with ingenuity. This is a build crafter. I mean, Alad V, like emotional availability, there is some resonance. Okay, I'm gonna say 4. I feel like he has kind of a bad temper sometimes, or he's like a bit quick to give up. But again, very aggressive. That's the great thing about these bosses, about dating Warframe bosses in the solar system, which is a thing that people do all the time. The great thing about that is that they're very forward. Like there's a lot of action. Well, you get a lot of action. But what I meant was they, they're aggressive. They do things. They have mechanics, except for the sergeant. Why did I give the sergeant a 5 for emotional availability? Oh, right, because it's me. It evokes emotions in me. The sergeant is like a tabula rasa, right? Alby is sort of the opposite. I'm going to say 4. And then budget. I mean, literally a rich corpus scientist. So again, 5, allowing Alad V to just barely surpass Vehek with a total of 19. Making the final rating, Alad V with 19 points. Vehek with 18 points. The Hyena Pack with 14 points. Remember, it's all of them. If you divide those points up, no. Sargus Ruck with 13 and Sergeant with a lowly 9. However, the one of the only 5s in emotional availability. So that's very good. Sergeant wins the emotional availability one. Which of these things, like, I don't really care about any of these things except for emotional availability. I believe that performance in bed comes from emotional availability. Domestic stuff, like you learn to synergize with whoever you're with. So like initial utility, I don't know, like you're gonna adapt. I think that's one of the most important places to compromise too, which is you guessed it, emotional availability and the budget for fancy dates. I mean, but at the end of the day, you can figure that out together. And here's what I think. That means that the sergeant, if we eliminate all the other categories because they don't matter at all and care only about emotional availability, the sergeant has won out. Oh, the corpus are kicking ass on the dating apps. Nice. Okay, very unexpected. Excellent. So, right. Good luck out there. I think I can say we've done very well. Best of luck, Lily. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. See you next time.